Hey, it's Chris Vandermaiden, founder of Prana Academy, and in this video I want to talk about working with crystal energy. How do you work with crystal energy? And so there are basically only 4 methods of working with stones. And so those are passive, active, resonating, and projecting. Now we're going to start with passive work because this is where everyone has to start. We've talked about how crystals are energy, how crystals, just like people, are always radiating out some kind of, energetic motion, some kind of vibration. And so in passive work with stones, just like the angry person, without you doing anything, if there's an angry person sitting by you, you can start to feel that. Every crystal you get is broadcasting an energy into a room. So if you want to have more maybe love in your home, more loving energy, you can get a piece of rose quartz and put that in your room, and it's going to add this just vibration of love to the space passively. You don't have to do anything to work with the rose quartz. Passively, that energy is present. And so if you want to work on maybe developing your intuition or having more courage or whatever you want in your life, you can get a crystal that corresponds to that. So, here's a piece of lilac lepidolite. If I want to release stress, maybe I'll just kind of carry this on me. And passively, it's constantly giving off this energy saying, hey, release your stress. Hey, release your stress. Hey, release your stress, without me having to do anything. So that's the simplest way of working with stones. To work with a stone passively, you just have to have a crystal somewhere around you, somewhere in your space. You can put them under your pillow when you go to bed. There's all kinds of ways to work with a stone passively. All that's required is having that stone somewhere around you. Now, we've talked a little bit about having blocks in this course, and if you've got a really big block and you've gotten a stone to maybe help you with that, passively, that's the slowest way of working with stones. So if you want to accelerate your progress with a crystal, then you want to move into active work. And now in active work, the only thing that changes is, rather than just having a stone in your space or on your person, you're putting your attention on the stone. So passively, I've got this rose quartz back here. If I want to actively work with that rose quartz, I can just move my attention to the rose quartz. And the thing is, what you put your attention on, you begin to experience. And as you put more and more attention on something, you experience that more and more. So the more attention I place on this tiny piece of rose quartz, the more I tune into it, the more I begin to experience it, the more I connect to that. If I'm just, completely oblivious to the rose quartz, or that energy of love in my space, and I'm just like not even, paying attention, I'm not going to make much progress in developing that within me. But as soon as I start consciously moving into the stone, consciously connecting, I start getting much more of the energy. I start getting much more dramatic results. So if you're wearing crystal jewelry, or maybe if you've got crystals in your pockets, for whatever purpose you're working on, maybe you've got some carnelian in your pocket just to give you that extra vitality. Maybe you're on a hike. If you're starting to feel winded or something, then you just move your awareness to the carnelian. You start connect to that. It starts waking things up in you, and it propels you forward. So that's active work with a stone. Now, when you move from active work to resonating work, that's when crazy things start happening. So in resonating work, that's when you can feel the energy of a stone. So if I've got this rose quartz and I start to feel that loving energy coming from the stone, any energy that we're picking up on is also an energy that we can generate ourselves. So if I feel this loving energy coming from the rose quartz and I start generating that same loving energy and sending it back to the rose quartz, then this resonant effect starts up and the energy starts building up. Maybe you've seen those videos on YouTube where when the wind is at a constant speed, and then they've got the bridge, and suddenly the bridge starts resonating, and eventually the whole bridge collapses. This is the power of resonance. Or maybe the opera singer singing one note that shatters the glass. That's that building energy. And so you can do this with a crystal. When you can tune into the frequency of the crystal and start resonating with that frequency, then the energy just starts to basically flood through your body. Any kind of blocks you've got, any kind of resistance you've got to that energy, to that frequency, just kind of get blasted out. And so this is a way to really go to some amazing places. When you do this in meditation, it'll take you to other realms. There's certain crystals that are connecting you to higher chakras or other dimensions, angelic realms, things like that. When you resonate, that's what really allows you to go to those places. But in order to do that, all you have to do is be able to feel that crystal energy and then generate it, send it back to the stone, and then let it take you wherever it's going to take you. Now, as far as speed or effectiveness goes, I would estimate that when you go from passive to active, that's maybe 10 or 20 times more effective, active work than passive work. When you go from active to resonating, we're talking it's like 100-fold increase. Your experience of the energy just becomes extraordinary, and the healing that takes place, the transformation that takes place in your consciousness, again becomes extraordinary. Now, there's a similar jump when you move from resonating to projecting. And so for me, the ultimate point of working with a stone is getting to that projecting place. So after you've gone through and resonated and cleared out all the blocks, and that stone energy is just kind of flowing freely through you, then from that place, if you start sharing that energy with the world, if you start projecting that out into the space around you, this is the highest form of stonework. If I've got this piece of rose quartz and I start resonating with the rose quartz, eventually it'll take me into this state where I embody the message of the crystal. I embody the energy. I'm now basically becoming a piece of rose quartz. I'm radiating out that same energy into the world. So this is the projecting work. This is ultimately, every crystal it's a reminder of who we are. When we connect with rose quartz and start projecting that love into the world, this is a reminder that we're just pure love. When I connect to that selenite and go to that place where it's just everything, I experience myself as light and I'm just shining light into the world. Selenite's a reminder that who we are is just light. Every crystal's got a similar message, a similar thing that it's inviting us to share with the world. And when you do that work of projecting a crystal's energy around you, that's even faster than resonating. This is where you can transform in moments by letting a crystal take you to that highest place where you're just projecting its energy and message to the world. So passive, active, resonating, and projecting, those are the 4 ways of working with stones. If you want to work at a certain level, but you feel like you're not there yet, then the way to get to the next level is to work at the level under that. So if I'm maybe having trouble resonating with a stone, then I just do more active work. I continue to explore the active work until I can get really clear on, what is the energy, what is the vibration this stone has. And the clearer I get, the more I'm able to start, generating that on my own, the more I'm able to connect, to establish that resonant connection, and eventually I'll start resonating. But no matter which level you want to work at, to get to the next level, just go to the one underneath it. So ultimately, those are the 4 ways of working with stones. If you've got any questions about any of those, be sure to just post your questions under the video, and I'll see you in the next lesson.